Oh, yay. I'm working on it, guys. Trying to get some audio going here.
To the Carnival Corporation and PLC fourth quarter 2025 earnings call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. A brief question and answer session will follow the formal presentation. If anyone should require operator assistance during the conference, please press *0 on your telephone keypad. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. It is now my pleasure to introduce your host, Beth Roberts, Senior Vice President, Investor Relations. Thank you, Beth. You may begin.
Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to our fourth quarter 2025 earnings
Okay, let me get this back going.
Conference call. I'm joined today by our CEO, Josh Weinstein, our CFO, David Bernstein, and our Chair, Mickey Arison. Before we begin, please note that some of our remarks on this call will be forward-looking. Therefore, I will refer you to today's press release and our filings with the SEC for additional information on factors and risks that could cause actual results to differ from our expectations. We will be referencing certain non-GAAP financial measures, including yields, cruise costs without fuel, EBITDA, net income, ROIC, and related statistics for all, which are on a net basis or adjusted as defined, unless otherwise stated. A reconciliation to U.S. GAAP is included in our earnings press release and our investor presentation. References to ticket prices, yields, and cruise costs without fuel are in constant currency unless we note otherwise.
Can you all hear the audio?
Our corporate website where our earnings press release and investor presentation can be found. For further information on our proposed DLC unification and shift in legal incorporation, please visit carnivalcorp.com/unify. With that, I'd like to turn the call over to Josh.
Thanks, Beth. It is definitely gratifying to begin this call by saying we delivered yet another very strong quarter to finish a fantastic year. Not only did we deliver historical fourth quarter highs for revenues, yields, operating income, and EBITDA, we achieved these record results in each and every quarter of the year and for the full year. 2025 was clearly another step change forward for us. We delivered over $3 billion to the bottom line, a 60% increase over 2024, and an all-time high net income for our company. This was over 30% greater than our initial guidance. Full-year yields improved more than 5.5% over last year and topped our initial guidance by almost 1.5 points, driven by commercial execution across our industry-leading cruise lines, and all while absorbing the heightened volatility we encountered periodically the year. We also brought unit costs in over than initial guidance at a 2.6% increase for the year, with successful cost management mitigating inflation, higher dry dock expenses, and the inclusion of costs for our amazing new destination, Celebration Key, Graham Hama. This combination pushed operating margins and EBITDA margins up by over 250 basis points year over year, leading to the highest operating income per ALBD in almost 20 years, and EBITDA per ALBD reaching an all-time high. All of these incredible achievements, full credit goes to our hard-working and dedicated team, the best in all of travel and leisure, for the consistent outperformance throughout the year that resulted in ROIC in excess of 13%, the highest level this company has seen in 19 years. Having said that, we are very well positioned to top 2025's fantastic results in 2026. We are already about two-thirds booked, in line with where we were a year ago at this time, and at historical high prices for both North America and Europe. And over the last 3 months, we achieved booking volumes that were at record levels for both 2026 and 2027. At the same time, closing demand remained strong, as demonstrated by the outperformance in our fourth quarter, by our onboard revenue per diem significantly outperforming prior year levels, and our customer deposits up 7% year over year, hitting an all-time high for year-end. Our book position and recent performance are all despite Michigan's U.S. consumer sentiment readings dipping quite low for several months throughout 2025, and in fact last month dropping pretty close to its lowest level in recorded history. It is a true testament to the strength of the product offering across our portfolio of world-class cruise lines and our guests prioritizing their spending with us. In reality, the disconnect between consumer sentiment and actual booking behavior continues to reinforce what we've said for a long time. Demand for our cruise lines is proving far more resilient than traditional macro indicators would suggest. We are expecting another year of same-ship yield improvement, marking our fourth consecutive year of low or mid-single-digit per diem growth. Normalizing for the accounting changes from the implementation of Carnival Cruise Line's beneficial new loyalty program and late-stage deployment changes necessitated by geopolitical uncertainties in the Arabian Gulf, we are forecasting a 3% yield increase in 2026. And while I think it's obvious, to address the question we've been getting most often, our 2026 guidance fully incorporates the 14% increase in non-Carnival Corporation capacity growth in the Caribbean, taking that to a 27% increase in just 2 years, as well as our 4% growth over that time period. Now, even against that backdrop, we continue to drive the business forward, underscoring the advantage of our diversified global portfolio. We are also continuing to successfully mitigate inflation through effective cost management. And again, with no ship deliveries for 2026, we don't have the advantage of offsetting large cost increases with significant capacity growth. On that basis, we've guided to unit cost growth of 3.25%, which includes a partial year of operating costs from our successful new destination developments and the timing of expenses hitting in the first quarter of 2026 rather than Q4 2025. David will provide more color around the costs, but normalized just for these two items, net cruise cost ex-fuel per ALBD are expected to be up about 2.5% for the full year. All told, in 2026, we will bring over $350 million more to the bottom line year over year and generate over $7.6 billion of EBITDA. With this strong cash flow, no new ship deliveries this year, and the fantastic balance sheet improvements we've made over the last 2 years, we're about a year ahead of schedule and can now embark on a capital allocation strategy that will return even more value to shareholders. Having reached a better than expected investment grade leverage ratio of 3.4 times at year end, I am pleased to say we are now formally resuming our dividend at an initial rate of 15 cents per quarter, which we expect to grow responsibly over time. Reinstating the dividend reflects both our confidence in the durability of our cash generation and the structural improvements we've made to our balance sheet. Alongside the dividend, we will continue to delever to get below 3 times net debt to EBITDA, while still allowing for opportunistic share repurchases in the future. In fact, we just kickstarted that a bit by calling the last of our convertible debt and in the process using some cash to take out 18 million shares. We will also have ample opportunity to deliver even greater shareholder value over time as we continue to reinvest in our future through our disciplined new build program, return-generating vessel enhancement programs like our successful AIDA Evolution project, which will soon expand to several of our other brands, and our ongoing destination development efforts. We see much more pricing opportunity ahead as we transition our destination strategy from what has historically been a utilitarian
I'll talk about where I got out and stuff
to a marketable growth driver for years to come. Celebration Key is a real differentiator for us and will be complemented by the expansion at Relax Away, Half Moon Key.
The put's killing me. I'm not going to lie, but I got out of the short actually up. So I lost about $850 on this. I got to do the full math. But was about
selection
$850
even
overall.
harder.
$850.
And as recently announced, we'll also be looking forward to a great guest experience we're developing with our partners in Ensenada, Mexico, showcasing the culture and natural beauty of Baja California, Mexico, that will greatly benefit our West Coast deployments. And our significant competitive land sea advantage in the incredibly profitable Alaska trade will continue to serve us well for decades to come. On top of these important attributes, cruising has clearly become a mainstream vacation alternative. And we have positioned our company with the most diversified portfolio of world-class cruise
Yeah, I covered
lines
the
in
shorts,
industry.
and I'll
In
make a
fact,
short explaining
we
what I
hold the
did.
number one or two brand in
At the
every
initial
major
release.
market for cruising today. Our well-recognized cruise lines have been honing in on their target markets, sharpening their marketing messages, and reaching target consumers in an incredibly efficient manner. Moreover, we are continuously improving upon our yield management tools and techniques to generate the most revenue possible from our asset base. We're also leaning into AI to further improve in areas such as marketing effectiveness and enhanced personalization, and to find further efficiency gains across the business. And the good news is, the price to experience ratio to land-based alternatives is still at a ridiculous value and provides enormous headroom for many years to come. And that's despite what will be an approximately 20% cumulative yield increase for us since 2023. So, while we are not immune to things like the lowest consumer sentiment in years, or capacity spikes in our most concentrated market, or geopolitical conflicts around the world, having 2/3 of the business on the books at higher prices underscores the resilience of our business model. Against all of that background noise, we plan to deliver another double-digit earnings growth on top of the 60% increase we achieved in 2025, leaving us well-positioned to continue to outperform in the consumer discretionary and travel space yet again. Again, thank you so much to each of our team members, ship and shore, who have delivered such phenomenal results in 2025 and set us up well for another step forward in 2026. At the end of the day, this is about delivering unforgettable happiness to over 13.5 million people around the world by providing them with extraordinary cruise vacations while honoring the integrity of every ocean we sail, place we visit, and life we touch. And that is something we do incredibly well. Thanks also goes out to our travel agent partners who have contributed immensely to this success. Likewise, a heartfelt thanks is owed to our loyal guests, investors, destination partners, and other stakeholders. Suffice it to say, these accomplishments reflect the effort, support, and loyalty we've received from all of you. I continue to be very proud of what we've been able to accomplish together, while at the same time remain incredibly excited about the runway ahead that leads to continued improvement to our business and results for years to come. With that, I'll turn the call over to David.
Thank you,
CFO.
Josh. I'll start today with a summary of our 2025 fourth quarter results. Next, I will provide a recap of our 2025 deleveraging and refinancing efforts. Then I'll give some color on our 2026 full year December guidance, as well as some key insights into our 2026 first quarter. And then finish up with some comments on the recommended simplification of our corporate structure. Turning to the summary of our fourth quarter results. Net income of $454 million was nearly 2.5 times the prior year and exceeded September guidance by $154 million, or 11 cents per share, as we outperformed once again. The performance versus September guidance was driven mainly by two things. First, favorability in revenue were 3 cents per share, as yields came in up 5.4% compared to the prior year, and that was on top of last year's robust increase of nearly 7%. This was 110 basis points better than September guidance, driven by continued strong close-in demand, which resulted in higher ticket prices and an acceleration of strong onboard spending. The increase in yield was driven by improvements on both sides of the Atlantic. Second,
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get
cruise
actual
costs
calculations for you.
without fuel per available lower berth day, or ALBD, were only up 0.5% compared to the prior year. This was 2.7 points better than September guidance and was worth 4 cents.
It has been that low, and I have video to
The
show Ryan on the
favorability
output.
was driven by both cost-saving initiatives, which we firmed up during the quarter, as well as timing of certain expenses between the years. The balance of the favorability, 4 cents per share, was a combination of better fuel prices, favorability in fuel consumption and fuel mix, slightly less depreciation than expected, favorable net interest expense, and a variety of other small factors. Next, I will provide a recap of our 2025 deleveraging and refinancing efforts. We have reached a meaningful turning point, achieving an investment-grade net debt to adjusted EBITDA ratio of 3.4 times as of the end of the fiscal year 2025. We successfully completed our $19 billion refinancing plan in less than a year. These efforts strengthened our balance sheet by simplifying our capital structure, reducing interest expense and debt, optimizing our future debt maturities, and enhancing our financial flexibility. In total, we have reduced our debt by over $10 billion since the peak less than 3 years ago. These efforts and our strong continued operating performance resulted in multiple credit rating upgrades throughout the year, culminating in reaching investment grade with Fitch and being one notch away with a positive outlook from S&P. All of this is expected to result in an over $700 million improvement in net interest expense in 2026 as compared to 2023, which is fully reflected in our guidance. Now I will provide some color on our 2026 full year December guidance. On top of the 17% yield growth over the last 2 years, we are expecting to deliver further yield improvement in 2026, with our guidance forecasting an increase of approximately 2.5%, which is really 3% when normalized for the Carnival Cruise Line loyalty program accounting and the last-minute changes we made to our Arabian Gulf deployment and certain dry dock schedules. The 2.5% yield growth is worth over 35 cents per share when compared to 2025, which is a result of both an increase in ticket prices and higher onboard spending, which has continued to remain strong. Turning to costs. Cruise costs without fuel per ALBD are expected to be up approximately 3.25%, costing 27 cents per share for 2026 versus 2025. This is really a normalized rate of 2.5% when factoring in 2 things. First, operating expenses for full-year operations of Celebration Key Grand Bahama and the mid-year opening of our new pier at Relaxaway Half Moon Cay will impact our overall year-over-year cost comparisons by 0.5 point. Second, the sliding of some costs from fourth quarter 2025 to 2026 will impact our overall year-over-year cost comparisons by about 0.3 point. The 3 main drivers of our normalized 2.5% cost increase are first, 3% attributable to inflation and higher advertising expenses. Second, about 0.6 point from dry dock expense on our income statement. In 2026, after optimizing our dry dock schedule, we are expecting 604 dry dock days. While the total actual spending for our dry docks in 2026 is expected to be roughly in line with 2025, as a result of the nature of the 2026 work, more of the spending is classified as operating expense and less as capital expenditure. expenditures. And third, cost mitigation of approximately 1.1% from efficiency initiatives and further leveraging our industry-leading scale. Regulatory costs related to emission allowances and higher income taxes driven by Pillar 2 will cost us 11 cents per share. Benefits from net interest expense, fuel consumption, and capacity were partially expected to favorably impact 2026 in currency is over 3 rates, adding 3 for full year 2025 or 23 cents per share. In addition, this will result in $7.6 billion of EBITDA. As we mentioned on the last earnings call, for the longer term, we're targeting a net debt to EBITDA ratio under 3 times. Well, I'm happy to report that even with 4 dividend payments modeled into our guidance for 2026, we are projecting to get there by the end of the year. Before I leave our 2026 guidance, I did want to update you on the impact of Carnival Cruise Line's new loyalty program, Carnival Rewards, which will now start in September 2026, impacting results for the fourth quarter. As a reminder, while the program is the impact is expected to be 0.2 of a point in 2026, half a point in 2027, 0.2 of a point in 2028, and turn positive thereafter.
I'll go check real quick.
Now some key insights into our 2026 first quarter. Yield improvement is approximately 1.6% or 2.4% when normalizing for the last minute changes to our Arabian Gulf deployment and certain dry docks in the first quarter. First quarter 2026 has a difficult prior year comparison as 2025 was at a record level with a 7.3% increase compared to 2024. In addition, the quarter is being affected by the Caribbean double-digit industry-wide growth, along with the first quarter having the largest absolute quarterly capacity in the Caribbean during the year, as well as the impact of volatility excluding fuel per ALBD are expected to be up approximately 5.9% compared to the prior year and higher than the full year. This results from the fact that all of the items that are expected to impact the full year will have a greater impact on the first quarter. I'll finish up with some comments on the recommended simplification of our corporate structure. We are recommending to our shareholders that we unify the dual listed company or DLC framework into a single company listed solely on the New York Stock Exchange. This aligns with the marketplace. We are aware of 15 dual listed companies or DLCs created over the last 4 decades, including our DLC in 2003.
Open a window.
A substantial number of those have been unified in recent years, but many of the same we are recommending unification. Today, we know under our plan, Carnival PLC shareholders would receive Carnival Corporation shares on a 1-for-1 basis, and Carnival PLC shares and ADSs would be delisted. Carnival PLC would become a wholly owned UK subsidiary of Carnival Corporation. This would create a single global share price, streamline governance and reporting, and reduce administrative costs. We believe it will also increase liquidity for stock trades and increase weighting of the stock in major U.S. stock indices. We intend to hold meetings of our shareholders in April to consider the recommendation. Subject to shareholders approving our recommendation, we intend to complete the unification in the second quarter of 2026. Now, operator, let's open the call for questions.
Question time.
Thank you. We will now be conducting a question and answer session. If you'd like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. A confirmation tone will indicate your line is in the question queue. You may press star 2 if you'd like to remove your question from the queue.
Let's listen to questions. This is where shit gets
It
interesting.
may be necessary to pick up your handset before pressing the star keys. To allow for as many questions as possible,
I'm going to try and put the laptop on the roof.
To one question and one follow-up. Thank you. Our first question comes from the line of Robin Farley with UBS. Please proceed with your question.
Great. Thank you very much. And that was a lot of information that covered a lot of the initial questions. Maybe just one thing when we think about your guidance, and it sounds like if we were just taking out the accounting accrual, it would closer to sort of 2.8% yield growth for next year. You mentioned that a lot of the beat in Q4, similar to what you've said during the year, was this acceleration in onboard spend and better close-in demand. Would you say that when you're thinking about your guidance for 2026, are you factoring in that those things will make good close-in demand? Really,
laptop's on the roof. Remind me before I move.
Hey, Robin. So I think the fair thing to say is, look, this is our guidance based on what we expect to happen at this point in time when we look into 2026, taking into account the business we've got on the books, the momentum we've got, and the fact that the world changes on a pretty daily basis, and so we're always going to try to continue the momentum on the onboard side. We're always going to try to make sure that the close-in bookings are going to hopefully beat our expectations. But at this point in time, it's truly our best guess. And as we always do around this time of year, you could say that Wave started early. It always starts early at this point, which I do believe, and it's really something that takes off as we get into the latter part of November. But we're still right in the mix of it, as you know, and so we do need some more time to see how it all develops.
Okay, great. And then, you alluded to the increase in Caribbean capacity, and a lot of that really is focused on Q1. Typically at this point, right, you would be, over 80% booked for Q1, or if you could just kind of remind us where that is. I know you mentioned kind of overall for the year, and that you're overall for the year in line with those record highs. Would you say for Q1 that you're further ahead than typical, or sort of in line with typical, just when we think about how far past the point of digesting anything in the Caribbean has already happened? Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, for our Q1 sailings, there's not that much left to go. The amount of port. So the momentum has been good. We're doing things that we think are going to continue to help support the guidance and support the business, not only for 2026, but for 2027, and even some that we're getting into 2028. So we feel good about the way our teams are going about managing the curve.
Okay.
This will be fun.
Thanks for that, Josh. And then on the Caribbean commentary, we hear about
We're still frozen?
capacity lift. A lot of it is in the close-in market, 3 and 4 day itineraries. I don't know if that's just the backdrop, but we feel good about what we've been able to accomplish and how we put it into the forecast. So
We're back?
I'm not sure if you want to try to take it from a different angle, but we feel good about the way we've been tackling our business.
We're back?
This way, then Caribbean yields will be positive in 2026. Caribbean yields will absolutely help support the momentum of this business, and we look forward to talking at the end of the year when we find out what happens. Okay, I thought I'd try to ask it that way. Okay, second question. Second question is probably going to be a David question. Obviously we have the first quarter guidance. Wondering, David, if you could help us think a little bit more about the cadence of the
audio, guys.
In terms of both yield and cost, and anything we should think about in terms of timing, both of those metrics as we update our models.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah, so as far as cost is concerned, the first quarter was, as you saw, higher than the full year. So when you start thinking about the second, third, and fourth quarter, I do believe that they'll probably be all 3 quarters less than the full year. However, keep in mind, there's a lot of decisions left to be made on particular items and exact spending and advertising, repair and maintenance, and other things. So the seasonalization between the quarters, as I've
Yeah, we actually did. Everybody's asking about softening bookings, and they're avoiding it. That's for Bill. The first few calls were asking about that. I might do a replay on this. Just the questions.
Very difficult to project what will happen in 2027. This has been going on for a long time. One of the and it has swung both ways. I mean, one of the things that I've always said many times is the fact that not every dry dock day is created equal.
It dropped right when they did the release. Very volatile. But I want to let this talk, and then we'll talk after. I promise you.
But we're really talking about a small movement, and as we plan through 2027, we'll get better visibility into that.
I just want to make sure you can hear the call.
The margin is kind of small, so it's a handful of percent difference between the two pieces.
Okay, got it. And then on the fuel side, it was there's some rounding, so it's not like perfect math, but it seems like there was quite a step up in emission allowance tax. I could be mistaken, but I think it's around 160 million for you in 26. Is there any way to?
The increase was about 6 cents a share, about roughly $80 million. Remember, in 26 we went to full 100%.
Left speaker girl. Okay, here we go.
Where we were.
Be better. Well,
70% of the emissions allowances. So because of the step up, there was an increase. Plus there was a slight increase in the projected cost of the EU allowances as well.
Totally. No, I got you. I was just saying, is there a smart way to think about the out years? Like, is that step function over, and now it just grows by, whatever you guys do?
I had to figure out what the speaker was.
Yeah, the step function is over because we're at 100%.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of James Hardiman with Citi. Please proceed with your question.
Hey, good morning. So circling back to the Caribbean conversation, as we think about, obviously there's some one-timers in the first quarter, the Arabian Gulf deployment changes, but sort of your like-for-like numbers that you've given us, right? 2.4% for Q1 relative to 3% for the year. Is that delta primarily just the outsized mix of the Caribbean in Q1? And then, to Steve's question, as we think about like the shape of the year, do you ultimately feel better as we move into the year about that Caribbean piece? I think the Caribbean is a much larger chunk of Q4 as well, but it seems like, based on the answer to the previous question, that you feel pretty good. That the Q4 yields, if anything, are probably going to be better than the full year. So just trying to understand the Caribbean dynamic in the context of all that. Thanks.
Yeah. Hi, James. So I think you've heard pieces of this throughout. So, first of all, if you look at the first quarter versus the first half versus the second half, the comps are a lot different when it comes to the yields that we're lapping. We have the impact of the volatility in the spring, which is having the outsized impact now, not for the second half of 2026. Overall, we feel good about the business. There are some specific drivers for Q1 that we've talked about, and we'll hopefully continue to, like I said, ride the momentum and keep improving the business.
Got it. And then I guess moving to the other side of the pond. Obviously, as we think about global capacity growth for 2026,
850.
Right.
That's cruise ship and vacations. 850. I sold at 27.97. I covered my shorts at 27.97 at 9:15 a.m. And I lost the put. It's like 850 and change. It's like 852. If I can get on the phone and do the math, it's like 850. Thank you, Emmett. Dollars, not $1,000.
Strategy in our approach. When you have P&O Cruises, which is the biggest and best in the UK, and AIDA, which is the biggest and best in Germany, and then we've got Costa that's really servicing the Southern European countries. Our European strategy, we think, is very, very effective over the long term, as we've been saying for a long time. And we also frankly see strength in our North American brands European programs. So we're very happy with A, where we're sourcing, and B, where we're deploying. And so we'll continue to stick to our strategy.
Got it. Appreciate it. Thanks, Josh, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, thanks, James.
Next question.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Lizzie Duff with Goldman Sachs. Please proceed with
Yeah, I can't ask a question about Goldman Sachs.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for taking the question. I wanted to go higher level and just on, the strategy that you take it. You have fewer ships launching than some of your peers, yet you're seeing clearly, congrats today, great yield growth. So you maybe talk more about what you think is driving that same ship yield growth from here. How much of that is maybe brand improvements in some of the brands that have been lagging, maybe more exposure to new to cruise? Just anything you could share that would be helpful.
Yeah, hey, Lizzie. So I think it is our brands getting better and better at their commercial execution, up and down that silo, right? Is everything from how we do the revenue management and the tools we use and the capabilities that we have. It's the performance marketing. It's the better and clearer brand messaging that's really speaking to why you shouldn't just want to take a vacation with us or a cruise with us, but you want to take a cruise with that brand. That's when we know we're doing it right, and that's what we've been focused on. And of course, I always say I talk about this at least only because we're really so good at it. We're always trying to figure out how do we make the experience on board meet and exceed expectations of our guests. And as you've heard me say, we have a tremendously ridiculous price to experience ratio gap between what we give to our guests and what you can get in land-based alternatives. And that value proposition, I think, is getting clearer and clearer when it comes to how we can market and talk about this. Now, because we don't have capacity growth in the next couple of years to speak of any real size, we don't have the situation where we're trying to figure out how do we get more people onto our ships. We actually got pretty maximum capacity on our ships. So newcomers are welcome, as are our loyal guests who we love.
Cucumbers?
Folks who have,
I know I said newcomers, but that sounded like cucumbers.
and so we're trying to appeal to as broad an audience as we can.
It's in the chat. 850 is what I lost by the time I got out. Puts pretty much flat line. Got out for a little bit on the puts.
Great. And then I know you get
And the longs actually got out, and the shorts I got out up.
in the context of contribution to your net yield guidance this year. Celebration Key, has been open a number of months now. I think you've had 1 million guests, you said, go there. I think we all make our own estimates of ticket yield contribution on board. Anything you can share of just participation rate, spend rate, what you are seeing on uplift and what you're expecting, on the go forward and as you kind of develop Relax Away more?
Well, thanks for asking again. So I'd say we celebrated just yesterday the 1 millionth guest coming to Celebration Key, which we were ecstatic to be able to celebrate. And it'll give you the same answer, which is, we're getting the ticket premium that we anticipated. The output from the onboard short, operations is in line, and the fuel consumption is too. So it's proceeding pretty much as we had planned. We'll continue to learn and adopt over time, as we should. And we'll certainly factoring in, as you said, what are some lessons learned that could be translatable to Half Moon, Relax Away. But I would say we're trying to make them very distinct and different experiences. And I think our guests are going to be delighted with that, and we can't wait to show them both for much of our capacity on the same itinerary. So we're looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lizzie.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of David Katz with Jefferies. Please proceed with your question.
Good morning, and thanks for taking my question, David. Could you just
Sorry, we're not going to talk over this right now. Okay, we'll talk after.
Versus variable costs within where you're at today. I know we're not going to be able to predict the future necessarily, but we'd love to get a sense for how we might, find leverage in the model.
I'll show you the exact point I got out. Hold on. I think I did that without audio. Being interrupted.
It's a difficult question to answer because, we do operate at full capacity and essentially
So what's today?
delivery cabin
When my options hit, the sell hit.
Have that basic premise.
This is an exact recording.
What you're basically saying is a ship size. Most of your costs are
You might not believe me, so whatever.
However,
I don't record this on my phone or anything.
that you can find better ways and optimize the business by doing things differently, which is whether it's be using AI or other things
Using
in order
AI.
to improve your cost structure. We're doing that shoreside as well. Shoreside, you find that obviously, somebody could say your advertising expense is variable, but in the long run, it really isn't. So what we have to do and what we focus on continually is being most efficient with every single dollar we spend and find ways to do more with less.
I'm going to have you kicked out if you keep
Understood.
asking. This is not about what I do for a living.
David. Sorry, Josh. On the listing, presume that there could be a couple of bucks of cost savings, up front and ongoing, thinking of, a few $1 million, up front and maybe a few million as an ongoing. Every little bit helps. Is that the neighborhood, David?
Yeah, that's the neighborhood. And the payback on this is very quick. It's just less than 2 years. And so we feel very good about the situation, and it also streamlines reporting and simplifies governance and other things for us. So we feel very good about the decision, and we finally got
It's
to
fine.
it.
You can believe it or not.
Me too. Thanks. Thanks, David.
I'll show you the screen recording again.
Our next question comes from the line of Jamie
Mine
Jones with Morgan
screen recording of when I got out. You can actually see
Hey, good morning.
things go in the
Thanks
money
for
and
the
everything.
Can I ask a little bit about consumer demand? I think you guys did a nice job dissecting demand by geography, but maybe can you talk a little bit about the behavior of consumers between income levels? Because we've been hearing a lot about this K-shaped demand patterns and how they've differentiated. Are we seeing things like seaborne consumers being more?
My God, why do you want to fuck with me over and over? It's a really good question. Seaborne consumers, come on.
Resilient than Carnival consumers or vice versa? Is there any way to parse that out to a better degree for us?
Yeah, sure. So, when you look at the segments, you got contemporary, premium, and luxury. We're not seeing any meaningful difference across the segments. I would say, and this has been asked before, when you think about our U.S. consumer across, the big brands that we've got in the U.S., excluding Seaborn, the range of our household income is something in the $100,000 to $150,000 range. So it's certainly in the middle class. And now, having said that, our guests don't live in a vacuum. They live in the same world as every other consumer does, and they see the headlines, and they're looking, I think, in a lot of cases, to figure out how do they get more value for what they're spending. That's been a pretty constant theme for a long time, and it certainly was in the fall, as you heard not only us and people in the cruise space talk, but I think as you hear retailers talk, and as we've been getting into the holiday season, some people are looking to make sure that they are getting the most they can get for the money that they spend. And they're specifically looking to preserve and protect things that are dearly important to them, like spending time with their friends and family on holidays. And when you put all of that together, that is a very nice tailwind for what we have to offer, because we are an amazing value, we give an amazing experience, and we can help you make your money go farther than what the land-based alternatives are. And so we feel good about the positioning. I'm happy to always have a gap to land and always be a value and close the gap over time and always have a gap and be a value. I think that's a great thing that we can provide to our guests.
Okay, and then I think there was a comment on, always sailing full, but can you talk a little bit about how you guys are thinking about managing occupancy
in 2026, just relative to the past, given that prices are at an all-time high and maybe the experience improves with fewer people on the ship. So maybe, how is occupancy being optimized in the year ahead? Thanks.
Sure, and I think that's a fair call out. We are not mandating. I am not mandating to my teams. You better sail full to the last decimal point. Going 3 places over. Right. At the end of the day, we want people to maximize revenue, and that's why we can miss an occupancy by a little bit, and we still end up with more revenue than what our forecast was, because we're managing and our teams are managing that balance, and I think doing it the right way. And so, there's always going to be opportunity to figure out on the fringes whether it's worth, getting the last few people on board or it's not, and keep a little bit more price integrity overall and generate more in the long run. So we give our brands, rightly so, the leeway to do that, and they have been doing it, and I expect that will continue.
Thanks. Happy holidays.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Connor Cunningham with Melius Research. Please proceed with your question.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Just on the balance sheet, you've obviously done a tremendous amount of work. I think you're targeting, I think you said sub 3, David. Just why is that the right level? And is there a desire to go above and beyond the $2.6 billion I think that you have naturally coming due this year in general? Thanks.
Sure. So, overall, if you calculate using our guidance where we'll wind up the year, we will wind up less than 3. We wind up at about 2.8 times. So we are moving in the right direction and feel very good about that. I would say we had said sub 3, but overall we're probably targeting something in the range of 2.75. That should get us around a triple B rating, and we feel that is strong at this point in time for a company like ours.
Okay. And then I know there's been a lot of talk about the Caribbean, but it's pretty normal in this industry to have big swings in supply from time to time. I think not too long ago, I think we were talking about Alaska as having too much supply at one point, but it normalized pretty quickly. So can you just, I know you talked a little bit about this, Josh, but just on core pricing versus occupancy, what the biggest change to me seems to be that Carnival is less willing to discount to fill. So, I know you've talked about maximizing revenue, but if you could just talk holistically, how that's changed versus history, I think would be helpful, just given I think that's a big deal here. Thanks.
Sure. I think that's a great intro. First of all, let me just say real clearly, the Caribbean is, and it always will be, a fantastic market for us. And we have successfully absorbed elevated supply in the Caribbean before, and in Europe and Alaska many times over the last many decades. And it comes and it goes, and it gets absorbed, and we move along. And I don't feel any different about the long term in light of what this particular instance is, because we do that very well. With respect to the philosophy, look, I think it is fair to say that we are thinking and acting, I think, in a rational basis, in a way that we want to maintain price integrity in the market for us, and at the same time, making sure we get folks on board that are happy and spending money not only on the ticket but the on board. And because we have evolved over the last several years and will continue to with bundled pricing and packages, it does change the dynamic about how we can, position ourselves in the market and do things and make folks think that, and understand that it's a great value. We have been, like I said before, we've been doing this over the last couple of years, and our yields are up 17%. It's part of the arsenal to put out promotions, to make people interested in what we have to offer, and get our base of business and hopefully generate as much revenue as we can, as much happy guests as we can. So no specific formula to give you, but I think it's fair to say that that's the approach.
Good stuff. Thanks.
Thank you. Operator, I think we've got time for one more.
Thank you. Our final question will come from the line of Sharon Zaxia with William Blair. Please proceed with your question.
Hi, thanks for keeping it in alphabeetical order with the D coming last. I wanted to ask you about marketing.
I hear you. That's cool.
Always in the back row. I wanted to ask about marketing because clearly you had a lot of success with increasing your marketing spend, and I think that was called out as something you will increase more in 26. Can you talk about where you ended with marketing as a percent of sales in 25, how you think about that for 26, and then there's a lot of talk about the way to get to consumers kind of changing with maybe SEO and things like that being less effective. I mean, how do you think about targeting consumers as the way to get to them, maybe shifting particularly in the digital landscape?
Yeah, well, so I'll talk about the last part first. I mean, you're 100% correct. It is one of the fastest changing areas of our business when it comes to technology, use of AI tools, not only by us, but by the consumer. And how are we marrying all of that up? And so there are lots of things that are already in place because, not surprisingly, there are third-party companies that have tools already available that we're taking advantage of to make sure that we're keeping pace with the way that consumers are changing how they go about looking for not just a vacation, but frankly anything nowadays. So that is, I think that's just going to be a common theme as we move ahead over the next several years, and we have to be nimble, and we have to be really thoughtful about the fact that the world is going to change dramatically, I think, over the next 5 years, and we need to make sure we're keeping pace. So that so we are reallocating dollars as we talk with our operators about how they need to spend differently to adjust to that. I think it's fair to say, though, there will still be top of funnel things that we are always going to want to do to get into the consideration set.
Oh, there's water.
We're talking about how do we optimize once you
Costco water
to make sure that we're being put the right way in front of the right guest or potential guest to close the booking. As far as how we're seeing the advertising, it's not like it's spiking dramatically over as a percentage of revenue. We're just trying to do what we think is the right thing. Is the right thing for our brands and our business. It's about 3.5%, give or take.
Wow.
It's a metric we look at, but it's
really
not the metric that ends the discussion about how much people should be spending on advertising. Because there's
a little bit, I agree.
I appreciate there's a lot behind it as we develop and change those plans real time.
Okay, thank you. Have a good holiday.
Thank you very much. So for everybody, I would just say thank you, happy holidays, and thank you again for all the support that we have had as a corporation and for all of our guests and all of our trade partners. Thank you very much for everything you do for us and for the team. Well-deserved break next week. So thanks very much and happy holidays.
Thank you. This concludes today's conference call. You may disconnect your lines at this time. Thank you for your participation.
All right, guys, that was a conference call. I will talk about when I got in, when I got out, stuff like that. I couldn't do it during the conference call. Yeah, this should say Merry Christmas. Donald Trump says it. I want to make sure the audio is good, and I'll full disclosure. I don't fucking care at this point. I got out relatively early here. The person who kept asking me what I do for work, that's not what this call is about. Unfortunately, I'm not going to talk about that. If you want that, jump on one of my personal life calls. I do it about once a year. That's what we'll talk about. But yeah, Ryan. Okay, let's talk about this. So, I happen to have a cover short position set up. I was in the shorts. Let me favorite everything so I can click through it with you. Literally, I have gone right from that to setting up the card and doing everything like that. I don't have any way to really clearly, nicely show you this, and unfortunately, I'm not going to edit this to get out my as I don't want to show you portfolio diversity, what percentages of portfolio. But here's what I'm trying to say. So I was in at 28.11, and I got out at 9:15, right when it released. I'll show you the video of me getting out. And this is the So I got it at 27. Got it right in the middle of this little surge. You can see right there. That's one of the getting outs at 27. Was it 27.97? I had a stop loss in for 27.99, but 27.97, and I put that stop loss in like 45 seconds before. So that's where I got out, and you can see a couple of functions getting out here. Options in the money, stuff like that. The option wasn't able to trade, so I got out of the option about 40 cents on the 92 I bought it at. That's the idea. Drink when he stutter. I don't stutter. Thank you, Scott. Was it AI drink? But I mean, this is where I got out of my main thing this morning. Right there when it dropped. Again, I didn't get the absolute low, meaning high, on a short. But with that, and I lost about 1,900 on the option. I'll show you that. We'll talk about it. Yeah, I lost about 1,900 on the option. So I wound up with that decrease. It's about $852 differential. That's where we're at. You can believe it or not believe it. I haven't had time to edit and show you anything because it happened and I jumped right on this call. That's just the reality of it. It happened. I jumped right on this call. I'm actually picking someone up at the airport. Let's see if they landed. Did you land? You land. So I got to get out of here because I have my winner, who you'll meet in a little bit. Do I use Robinhood? Yeah, for this I used Robinhood. Robinhood does let you short as of like 2 weeks ago. They let me short when I was in Ukraine. If you understand that joke from the Princess Cruise. I don't think the full impact, they did talk on the call. I don't know if you heard it. They did talk on the call about the impact of loyalty. I don't think the full impact of loyalty has hit yet. I really don't. People are willing to look. What's happening right now, a lot of the people that are sailing Carnival and different things like that, and just so you guys know, and Grok knows, the laptop is in the car, so I can move. But when we're talking about all these things like that, where was I going with this? I don't think the problems have hit yet. Because I talked to a lot of people who, I mean, the man in the fancy hat, Mark. So I have a laptop on my roof. No, I don't. Don't go anywhere. I don't have a laptop on the roof. I'm talking to you from the laptop right now. The camera's over here. The laptop's over there. I just want to get the stream back up. Laptop is not still on roof. Laptop is here. So, yeah, that's, I don't know what happened with the Wi-Fi. I got a couple Wi-Fi repeaters and everything like that. Problem is I knew I had to go, so I couldn't do a live and then run a live, and the person's not landed yet. But I have the winner for my Margaritaville at Sea that I'm picking up now. The cruise is not today. Logistically. But they're coming in for another thing, so I'm going to go pick them up at the airport and hang out and make sure, we can get along well. So that's what we're going to go do. We'll bring you some shorts from that for sure. But here's the thing. $850, even if it was $10,000, it's not. But even if it was $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, that's a normal swing day for me. That's the honest truth. I don't know if you remember, but I think there's a laptop on my roof. Yeah, no. So the laptop, I don't know if I can show you. Yeah, I actually can. I was originally shooting with this guy right here, which I've just now given away an address in a mailbox, but I don't really care. You can find it on a patent application. Not a patent, a trademark application. I was originally shooting with this camera right here, and then it just went weird. It's still recording, and you're watching, this is the laptop, which is weird because Apple laptops don't usually look that good on the stream. That's what I'm saying. Is the person Tyrone. So the laptop is safe, but let's take 5 minutes or so of questions. I don't have the ability to blank out everything right now, but I did get out at 97. So 27.97 is where I got out. And again, this was the crazy time. I did lose my put option. I'm not gonna lie. My put option went to absolute shit. But my shorts. This is where I got out. So the speaker was shutter, no you. I was recording when it happened. When my options went in the money, the problem is when my options went in the money, you'll see, it'll come up right there. Your options are in the money. When my options went in the money, it was not 9:30 yet. So I couldn't sell. It was 9:15. So, what happens is earnings calls are always before or after market. Well, the earnings reports are always before or after market. So you can't really get in or out of options. Why did I adjust my exposure from 250K? I gave my exposure very clearly. Last night is what I bought, what I had available in my account. This was my exposure. I posted this last night in a short. This was the exposure. I'll show you very clearly. Now, I will tell you, I do still have one more option active. One more option I have active on Carnival. And I'll show it to you. It just make sure. I don't like to show percentage of accounts and stuff like that. Good. This doesn't show percentage of accounts. I do have a Carnival $20 put. Now, that is not for now or anything like that. I'll show you where that's for. Carnival $20 put for 1/21/2028. Okay, that's the active option I have right now. CCL $20 put, $2.43 for 1/21/2028. I'm not going to show you much more than that. Gold is doing really well today. I'm making back some of my 850. I'm making it back in gold. Portfolio diversity. I don't want to show portfolio diversity, but I have 300 shares of GLD, and I'm up a little bit there on that. I did lose the put. Look, I'll show it to you. This is the difference between me and everyone else. I lost the put. I'll admit that. Okay, I lost the put. But I got out of the short, but I lost the put. That's where that differential comes from. That's the truth. I got out of the short up, lost the put. C'est la vie. C'est la vie. That's where differential comes from. I lost more than 850. Don't bullshit. I'm not bullshitting you. But go on. I don't have to declare my entire financial life to you guys, but that's what I showed you where the entry and the exits was. So aggressively anti-Carnival. I'm definitely destroy the stock. What changed before this call? Nothing. I got out when the numbers came out. I got out during this period when the numbers came out. I'm still anti-aggressively Carnival. I got out here. When the buys and when the buys and the sells switched is when I got out. You'll see right there. I have it recorded. What's the plan for today? I have it recorded. This is where I got out. I started recording. This is my camera roll. I'm not going to expose anything there, but yeah, that's my camera roll. I'm not going to expose anything there. It's the Travel Plaza and some favorites. That's my camera roll. You can choose, you can't choose. I'll give you the numbers. That's it. Remember, the earnings report is released well before the call. Yeah, it is. But what happened is I couldn't get out of the short. I couldn't get out of the put with the earnings report. I got out of the put at like 40 cents on my 92 cents. Okay. Thank you. I'm trying to show you the trades. You know, do you think it makes Kirsten happy? I'm showing you the best I can. Will you do a video going over the Q&A? Yeah, potentially. Because we missed a lot of it. I might do a video going over the Q&A. That is recorded. And then I can pause it and everything like that. So that actually seems good. I will tell you the first two questions were my exact concerns. That's the truth. Let me just see if my person's landed yet. Did you land? No. Okay. The first two questions were my exact concerns. Was, what do the bookings look like for next year? Are they softening? They said that I'd have to go back and listen to it because I was having a lot of technical issues. They still seem to think that the loyalty program is going to make no change, but yet they're making changes to the loyalty program. Okay. What's the next cruise? It is on the Celebrity Silhouette January 4th, but there's going to be a lot of content coming out before then. I'm not going to have time to jump in a studio per se and make something breaking this all down today because I'm going out and again, I'm picking up someone at the airport. I got to make sure their flights landed and everything like that. They said they were landing at 11. So unfortunately, I'm going to cut this a little bit short. The junk because both the calls and puts are like a roller coaster. No 10K in puts. No shareholder meeting. Are you saying it's still hope? No. I've got people texting me. Look, they kicked the can down the road. That's the truth. Martini Bar, Excel, January. Am I in? Of course I am. Well, January 11th. People ask me what my favorite cruise is. I always say the next one. Funny, Bill. Where's the laptop? The laptop is right here because we were on. Okay. We were on the camera. Now we're on the laptop. So the laptop's here in the car. Don't worry about that. I'm just checking when the person that I'm meeting's flight lands, I just texted them. So did you land? Let me see. Okay. 1468. Let me look that up real quick. Sorry, guys. 1468. It's delayed. Arriving late. Okay. Estimated arrival 11:30. All right. So I got 5 more minutes. We can talk. Then I get going to Miami International Airport. Let me actually put that in. MIA. Miami International Airport. Perfect. Estimated arrival 11:30 a.m. It is arriving late. Where's Forky? Good question. Where's Forky? I actually just got Forky. Can you give me a minute? Tell people I'll be back in just a moment. I'm gonna go get Forky, and that's good because I had a USB cable in the car. Let me pull this cable in the car. I got another hat. There's Forky. He's real. He's totally real. So, 10-year Treasury bonds. I'm liking gold right now, but yes, that's the real Forky. And it's actually got like a Pizza Planet fork and everything like that. Ah, he's trash. Also known as cruise fork. But I think his eyes jiggle. His mouth goes, yeah, Forky came in yesterday. But Forky's going to come with me. Again, if I need to clear out my front seat. I do have a new captain's hat. Never invest in treasury bonds because they're based on the US dollar. That's correct, Bill. I do have a new captain's hat. Now, you'll notice there's a difference between the old captain's hat and the new captain's hat. Old captain's hat has a logo on it. New captain's hat, a little bit shittier, but it's adjustable. And we can go put the fin on. And here is new captain's hat. That's all I'm saying. A bug flew into your car while the door was open. Whatever. Bioweapon defense mode activated. Doink. Doink. All right. I have exactly 2 more minutes. If you got any questions, I will do a breakdown of the Q&A when I get a chance. Probably later tonight or tomorrow. I think it's interesting. Not denying. Get out. You made a good call selling the short, but it seemed like something you would have held on to. What made me feel I sold at earnings. I just sold at earnings. GTSLAW, my vision shit. Do you really want to know why? I'll tell you why. Earnings had a written statement of projections, and that's the first thing I looked at. I didn't care about the numbers. All I cared about was forward guidance, and they wrote forward guidance and earnings. That's why I got out. Does that answer your question? I want you to say, yeah, they had a written statement of forward guidance in their earnings. It's the first thing I put to. I went to the SEC. I went Command F. I put guidance. I read the first sentence, and I got out. That's it. That's the honest answer. Do I have full self-driving? Of course I fucking have full self-driving. Of course I have full self-driving. Here, let's try something real quick. I don't know if this is going to work. I just connected to Starlink. My connection is unstable. Are we good? Can you guys still hear me? I won't be able to view you as much, but I just connected to Starlink. So we can still definitely chat, especially because we got full self-driving. Front trunk is unlatched. Let me fix that problem real quick, and we'll take this on the road, baby. Hey, Bill, I got a question for you. I can't sit and look at the stream. It's a question for Bill. Can I call you, and then you can call out questions and stuff while I'm driving? Is that cool with you? Just say call me, Bill. We'll try this on Starlink. I got Starlink on the trunk. You can say call me, Bill. And I'll call you, and we can talk through some shit. Okay, so then we can keep the stream going. You guys cool with that? Let me just try this. Let me do a speed test on Starlink real quick. Then we'll get Bill on the phone, and he can read the chat. And we can go to the airport. And we get the best of both worlds, like Miley Cyrus says. Yeah, oh, Starlink, we got 150 meg down. Let me just look at the upload. Yeah, so we got Starlink. It's right in the back there. In Starlink, we trust. We got Forky. He's not trash, but he kind of is trash. Oh yeah, we can do this on the mode. Let me call Bill real quick, and Bill can help with what's coming through in the questions and shit. Okay. Let's see.
Right, can you hear me?
Yo, what's up, Billy Bill?
I was told I have to read it in a John Harold English accent.
John Harold English accent. Yes, we are moving, so Bill can help answer questions. So let me know what's going on in the chat, because obviously I can't watch the chat on the seat of my lap, on my passenger seat.
Well, speaking of your seat, people are asking what the hell is your seat contraption, your massage thingy?
Oh yeah, I have a back massage. So this is Bill, friend of the channel. We call him Professor Bill, and I'll have Bill read the chat in a little bit. Oh, I got someone coming up on my ass. All right, yeah, I'll have Bill read the chat in a bit, but we should still be connected.
Calling ass.
Is the connection still okay, Bill?
Well, it pauses the video, so all I can see is I can see the comments. People type comments.
Is the comment saying the connection's okay? We're on Starlink now.
Can someone tell us in the comments if the connection's okay?
We're on Starlink, and the thing is, a lot of people. Okay, look, let's not lie. Here's what I'm showing. Oh, I'm driving myself like a fool. I forget that
stable but poor quality is what we have from Ryan.
Stable but poor quality. Well, hopefully it gets better. No.
Better now than 30 seconds ago, they said.
Better now than 30 seconds ago.
So it's going to go in and driving. I think everybody's understanding.
I'm driving and I'm on Starlink. Well, let's not lie to people, Bill. I'm actually driving.
I mean, Grok is driving.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, with the latest update that ties Grok into navigation, Grok is driving. The only bit of bad news for Grok driving is when you ask Grok to do something, she will only do it if she's in assistant mode. She won't do it in unhinged.
Would you want unhinged Grok to drive you somewhere?
Well, no. I'm just talking about when you I have to change it to assistant. My Grok's usually in unhinged.
Oh yeah, no, I understand.
So I have to physically change it to assistant in order to do that. Also,
I'm just imagining.
Can we check the comments, Bill? Let's see what the comments are saying. I'm willing to chat with people the whole way to the airport. I just have to go pick up. So I'm going to let people know who's at the airport. Look at the comments real quick. I'll come back to it. The person who won the video.
Trainer 2 says, "What do you think of Netflix as a long-term buy?"
You know what, Bill? I'm going to let you speak on that. I'm not a Netflix fan. I don't do Netflix. What do I think of Netflix as a long-term buy? And then I also want you to scroll up to the guy who asked, who said, I understand you changed and you're showing your trades. Why did you do it? I'm willing to be transparent. I sat, and first thing I looked at was guidance. And a lot of companies won't talk about guidance until their earnings call. The fact that they were willing to talk about guidance before their earnings call told me everything I needed to know about how things were going to turn here. That's why.
No, that makes sense. Why you have guidance in the report.
But I didn't even know about the company leveraging the dividends all I cared about was guidance, and that's why I exited.
Yeah.
I literally.
Did they talk about the companies merging on the earnings?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
They did.
Yeah.
It was in one of the periods where everything just went weird. I should have just stayed on Starlink the whole time. I'll tell you the honest truth of why we weren't on Starlink the whole time is because the Starlink hadn't. By the time I got moving and everything like that, I had to reactivate my Starlink subscription, and it hadn't sent the signal to put back full speed. It was still on the $5 standby till about halfway through the call.
That makes perfect sense.
If that makes sense, because the Starlink from Explorer Journeys was in my bag, so
Yep.
I had to unpack the Starlink. But anything in the comments, anything there, because I can't really see. I see a lot of stuff. I'm just not sure what it is.
If we continue to switch modes for Grok, they need to make it where you can just tell her to switch modes. There's someone to talk about Netflix. Okay, well,
let me know your thoughts on Netflix. I want to give a disclaimer, not financial advice because it's my channel, but Bill has been a very big Netflix bull and bear for years. I've only traded Netflix on earnings and in indexes. So, Bill, you have the floor.
Yeah, I currently have no shares of Netflix currently, and the reason is I'm really hesitant because of this
the merger thing.
The merger. Well, there's no such thing as a merger. They're all acquisitions, right? So the idea of Paramount really pushing the Trump administration to make that win instead of Netflix for the Warner Brothers acquisition. I don't think that this fight is over yet. I know that Warner Brothers Discovery has already said, no, we're done. We're going to move on with the Netflix deal and head that direction. I think that there's going to be some issues. And I don't know.
I'm sorry. You burned out for a minute. Did I lose you? Let me see if I lost Bill. I didn't really lose him. Let me try this again. Oh, sorry. You got knocked off of Bubble Roulette. You're back. You there, Bill? No. My one problem with Tesla that you laugh at is the speakerphone is just incredibly bad. You there? Nope. Good news is I lost him. Let's try that again. Lost Bill for a minute. Might have been a Starlink loss. Let's try that again.
Starlink loss or
Starlink loss. Okay, we're back.
Yep.
Okay, well, we were talking about Netflix. I'm not
sure where I cut out.
You cut out talking about Warner Brothers merger and Forky. Yay! I'm not trash.
Yeah. No, I think that the feds might get involved with that merger. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant.
Why? I believe that this, again, we're not financial advice, but I believe that this administration is very merger friendly. I don't think they believe anything's antitrust.
It's not about that. It's more of personal issues with Netflix being accused of being as the woke company and Paramount is, not. So, yeah, I think it actually comes down to that. Would the administration be that petty? Yeah, they might be. I don't know.
Really? Oh, so it's a wokeness thing. Interesting.
Yeah. Netflix has been accused of having a lot of woke content as of late. I
haven't watched Netflix in forever.
Yeah. There's also a even larger concern of a lot of directors that really don't like the idea of a company that traditionally goes against doing a theatrical window for film.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Stranger Things finale coming out theatrically?
I don't know. I actually don't watch Stranger Things.
I know. I don't either. But I think on Christmas, the Stranger Things finale was coming out theatrically on Christmas in theaters.
Well, even if that's the case, it's probably going to be a more limited theatrical release.
Yeah, no one's going to go to the theater.
Yeah. But for big budget film, I mean, if you tried to tell Jim Cameron that his film's not going to go into theaters and it's going to go straight to streaming, he'd say, "Go fuck yourself."
But I mean, how much longer do you think theaters have? Are theaters going to be around for the rest of our lives?
Absolutely. I think that there's an experiential element that can't be copied. It kind of goes down to the idea of date night. And there's really a push, especially with young kids that need to get out and do some more social things. They're not drinking, so they're looking for alternate activities. And going to the movies is one of those right now. So
I like to drink at the movies.
Well, yeah, some people do that.
That's the reason the reason I switched from AMC to Regal. Your AMC has alcohol, correct?
Oh yeah,
my AMC doesn't have alcohol, but my Regal does.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I respect that decision.
My AMC is an amateur mall. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
As far as I know, Netflix might be a very good long term, but I'm just worried for the next year or two. See how the Warner Brothers thing goes.
I'm also I like YouTube as well. I like Google/Alphabet/YouTube. I think that user-generated content is becoming more and more powerful these days.
Yeah, I mean, Disney is going to push all the way in for that. You saw Disney's investment with OpenAI, and
right. But what does that have to do with YouTube? Are you talking about OpenAI for user-generated content side?
Yeah, Disney has licensed its content.
So you mean it's going to be legal at some point for me to put Forky in videos, and I don't have to call him Cruise Fork? I can actually call him Forky.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing that won't be there are the voices with the characters, but you'll be able to incorporate the characters using Sora, actually.
No, I know.
Then, in turn, the insane part of the whole thing is that Disney start selecting content that was created on Sora and then put it on Disney Plus.
What? Where's that shit written? Is that like deep in the deal?
No, it was pretty publicly talked about. Yeah, and people are like, "What?" But Disney's been looking for more content for Disney Plus, so that does make sense.
So yeah, me and Bill have an interesting bet that I'm probably going to lose. I think it's 2 years out still. I think it's about 2 years out that Apple's going to buy Disney. Share a little personal thing, and if they do, it's actually funny. I met this chick 2 nights ago, 23-year-old, real cute bartender at Dania Beach Casino. You probably saw that big win I had at Dania Beach Casino the other day. That was just slightly under hand pay.
Well, the hot pots.
Yeah, so it was after that we went up. We had a drink for AJ's birthday up on the second floor of Dania Beach Casino. And there's this cute 23-year-old girl who's like, oh, she doesn't know what she's gonna do in life and stuff like that. So she's running off to Paris. And I was like, oh, good God, no. I was like, you're gonna go meet a boy. His name's gonna be Paolo, and you're gonna make babies with him and get stuck in Europe forever.
Maybe that's what she wants. She wants to fall in love. That's why you go to Paris, or if you want to work in fashion.
Yeah, I think she has some kind of fashion degree or something. That's why she's going there. But
no, that makes sense.
Let's look at the comments again, because I can look over, I can see there's some, but I can't generally focus on what they are. Well, so I do have the new self-driving release, which lets me look to the side, but I really don't want to because I don't trust it yet. I got 14.
No, I got you. All right, so we got Piccolo says, will there be an AI bubble burst?
Fuck yeah, there's going to be an AI bubble burst.
To a bubble.
AI, look, AI is good. Look, like, I'll give a perfect example. The thumbnail for this live stream was created in one shot by AI in a 1-sentence prompt with no errors. It was made by ChatGPT. Usually like 6 months ago, ChatGPT would fuck up spelling and put words not in English and stuff like that. This thumbnail was perfect. I used to hire, and Bill knows this, he'll back me up on this. I used to hire a guy in India to do my thumbnails because I was really bad at graphic design. I still do all my own editing, but now I don't hire the guy in India anymore because it's gotten that good.
Why don't you hire me anymore? Why are you not doing this?
Oh, Pongash! It's Pongash.
Oh my God, you hired Pongash. Pongash used to do Richard's thumbnails. This is now part of the lore.
This is now part of the lore.
Okay, so yeah, there's probably an AI bubble, but I think robotics is going to really blow up. So yeah, we'll see what happens. WWE is a huge deal for them. Okay, I'm not sure what that was relating to, but yeah, that makes sense. Why putting so much money into gold when you were concerned about Chinese artificial gold change, or was the artificial gold a hoax?
So essentially China did, okay, so are you familiar with what's going on, or you're not familiar with what's going on? No, that is true.
I don't know anything
all right,
about
so
the
Chinese came out and said they found an artificial way to make gold. Then the Chinese, here's what happened. They put out a press release and everything like that, and then they invited a double-blind study, and the double-blind study failed.
Oh, okay. So they can't make gold.
They said they can make gold, and you know in the scientific community how it works, right? You always do not a double-blind study, a peer review. Sorry, I got the word wrong. They invited a peer review, and the peer review could not follow the process. And I really I have it in the back. I don't have any in my wallet anymore because I've given it all out. I love this. You haven't seen it yet, Bill. I'm going to come up to Orlando. You've got to see these goldbacks. They're amazing. And I'll tell you, one of the coolest things about goldbacks, recently I was at a wonderful establishment called Rachel's Steakhouse. You may be familiar with it.
They have great filet mignon.
They have great filet mignon and nice titties. So I was at Rachel's Steakhouse, and here's the wild thing. They let me pay in goldbacks.
That's insane.
They were familiar with it, but remember, I want to baseline and also pay in Bitcoin there.
Okay. So take everything. Now that
goldbacks on the stage to strippers. It was a wonderful moment. I wish I could have gotten it on video, but you know those rules.
Yeah. So goldbacks, essentially, that they're printed with gold, but they're actually backed by actual gold deposits somewhere. Is that the whole idea?
That is incorrect, sir.
Oh, okay. I don't understand what goldbacks
so
exactly
goldbacks are laminated gold. So they are laminated 24 karat gold.
That's all they are. So that's okay. That doesn't seem to be making much sense to me.
What do you mean? So I'll give you an example. I'll show them to you.
Paper.
No, it's not paper. Oh, I can reach it. Yeah, I can reach it. The live stream. Oh, this fucker's gonna. Wow, Tesla's doing a great job in this traffic. I haven't interacted once. Get a little too close to things. So, like for example, goldbacks start at 1/2 a goldback. I know you can't see this, Bill, but the channel can see it. Start at 1/2 a goldback, which is pretty flimsy, and then they go up to I have a 25 goldback note. 1/2 goldback's worth about $4.50. This 25 goldback note, a lot less flimsy, a lot heavier, is worth about $230 in gold. Now you're paying to get them, you're paying about 2%. If that makes sense.
You melt them.
But you can also turn them in to any gold exchange at a spot price. And I don't think I've made a video on this yet because I'm still. So I'll tell you how looking into gold I am. So Alpine Gold will let you do basically a gold. What's that thing? What's that money instrument that you hate? It's not coming to me right now. Like a bond, a gold bond.
The U.S.
medicated
dollar.
Powder. Gold bond, medicated powder.
You're talking about treasury bonds.
No. Yes, but you just don't like bonds. I get it, because they don't work with inflation. But what was I going to say when we're talking about bonds? How many people we still on? We have 50 people on. I don't care talking to the airport. Just make sure the battery on the laptop's okay, which it is. So I have this gold bond that they pay me 2% to store my gold with them. Plus, I get the appreciation value on the gold as well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so you can do that with them. If you next time you come down here, we can set that up. And here's the coolest thing. Legally, I looked this up. This is what's wild. If you trade in and out of
gambling winnings to $2,000.
So yeah, next week, a little bit more than a week from now. So they're raising that Fed limit. What I'm considering doing, I'm going to come up to Orlando. I think we should go on the Victory Casino Cruise by the Russian Mafia and win some money.
Yeah. For legal purposes, let me rephrase that. It does not trigger a required W-2 at $2,000. Of course, everyone reports all their winnings to the federal government.
Well, generally, if you're getting comped like you or I do, we have enough losses to offset any winning.
Yeah.
This is actually
here's another question on here.
Okay.
Actually, Dr. Atomic says, the NAG is way less with the latest 14 point whatever software.
Yeah, the NAG is. I'm literally shooting an episode. I just don't have the visual to go here. realistically, I could.
Yeah.
I think I could open the stream. No, I'm like I could open the stream on here and see it. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Yeah.
So the Chinese gold was proven to be false at this point. Like, are you actually concerned if it becomes real, it'll lower the value of the gold backs, or is that just very unlikely that the Chinese can make gold?
It is very unlikely that the Chinese can make gold.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
So you're not concerned at all.
I'm not concerned anymore. Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
I was
Okay, fair
concerned,
enough.
but you're gonna laugh. I'm also very much. They don't have them yet because I guess they would be. I'm interested in buying some silverbacks too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Careful. It's their mating season.
It's their mating season.
Anyway.
Okay. Other questions? I think the connection is holding up as far as I'm seeing.
Yeah. Ryan commented that your chances of winning our bet are pretty low because Bob Iger was on Apple's board of directors, but now that he left, the acquisition chances are lower.
And and look, I think that Apple and Disney might have a changing of the guards about the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, looks like Tim Apple Cook is about to be
stepped down, and
retiring.
so is Bobby Iges.
Yeah, and I do think it's going to be Josh tomorrow because I don't think that anyone else is really going to show up. But maybe Dana Walden can still pull something out of her hat, or maybe it'll be co-CEOs, or that'd be weird.
Have they done that of a public company before? I mean, technically, public companies can have that.
Oh yeah. I mean, technically, Comcast now has that. Roberts, yes, Comcast is an interesting public company because the reality is the Roberts family owns the majority of voting shares, but it is a publicly traded company. But in reality, like Brian Roberts controls everything. However, I guess he got overloaded with too much to do for the CEO duties, and he now has a co-CEO
Really?
For Comcast. Yeah. So
Interesting. Yeah, so I'm headed. You'll laugh. I'm headed to the airport to pick someone up, but I'm also headed, and we're going to do our first review there. I've been there a couple times. I think you were with me. I've wound up at Grain and Still a lot. You were there with me the first time, weren't you?
Yeah, I love Grain and Still.
I was back.
They have a great happy hour.
I know, and they have a great lunch menu and everything. And it's right by the Miami airport. So I pick someone up, I'm going to Grain and Still. So if you ever come in and you fly to go on a cruise with me or something like that, it's probably going to be Grain and Still. I'm in the chat now. Bill, also, let's go through some more of the chat questions, and then we'll.
How many full self-driving strikes do you have?
So I've only gotten one since owning this vehicle. I've gotten one full self-driving strike since owning this vehicle. I just wanted to see what it did, but they go away in like 3.5 days.
Was that because you were trying to catch your laptop from flying off the roof?
No, because I think they go away in like 3.5 days. Full self-driving strikes. If it takes it, so what? I looked at it because when I got it, I was like, "Fuck!" So like, I had 2 full self-driving strikes in Tennessee in my Cybertruck that I rented. So I got 2 full self-driving strikes. Which if you get 3, then you can't full self-drive for 7 days. So I got 2, and I was like, "Fuck!" Yeah. And I was like, "It's not my truck, so I don't give a shit." But I got 1 in my car, and I got really stressed about it. So like, if I get 3, then I lose full self-driving forever? No. You lose it for 7 days.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Amy Train at 2 says, "What do you think NCL new free at sea?"
So here's the funny thing. I did one NCL cruise. I have an open invitation to do another. I'm probably the Aqua. I don't know if it's the Viva or the Aqua, the one that's out of Canaveral. I'm going to do it with Angie for one of her group cruises. I just have to call and get that booked. What do I think of the NCL's new promotion? I liked their old one better. So what's nice is if you do have the way it used to work is I had a casino booking for free on NCL. I'm trying to remember who the hell even did it. I think Casino Players Club or Executive Casino Tours. One of them did it for Norwegian, and essentially all I paid for was taxes, port fees, and gratuities, and I got a drink package everywhere. So I actually
how
really
much was the drink package then? I mean, that was
built into the casino rate.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So essentially, I like it. If you get the right casino comp, which I can still get, you get drinks on us everywhere for free. But I want to be very clear their casino comp program is pretty shitty. But if you get the right casino comp, it is a standard drinks on us everywhere for free.
Okay.
And as of right now, so wait, what I wanted to address with Amit, which was interesting, is so now for like an extra $40 a day. Let me see. Waiting for luggages. Okay, I gotta let my person know I'm 20 away. 20 away. So now essentially they have the new thing they did is they introduced an enhancement to the free at sea package where you can drink on their private island, which is something they formally cut off.
Wow. Yeah, Carnival doesn't let you drink on their private islands at all.
Yeah.
You get stung by bees.
It's stung by bees. I mean,
look, I really hate Carnival's private. It's not even a real private island. It's on Freeport.
I'll be honest with you. Carnival's private island is significantly worse. I'm going to give you another private island. You're going to go, yeah, it is. Carnival's private island is significantly worse than Virgin's private island, which is kind of in the same spectrum of private islands. Carnival's is just in a plot of land nowhere, and Virgin's is a beach resort they built with what's the name? With the Chinese company, Resorts World.
I really want to go see Royal Caribbean's new beach club that they built in Nassau because it looks pretty nice.
So I'm going in February, and I plan. I don't know if I told you this one. I'm telling this on the stream the first time because I'm going to open up auditions rather soon. I'm going to bring a random. So I got a really cool Royal offer that you've probably never seen before. This is the craziest casino offer I've ever seen. So I got a casino offer for Cyber Monday, which I booked at the last friggin' minute. Currently in the second room, my mom and dad are there, but they're not going to sail. It's like a 5-day on the Freedom of the Seas. But here's where it gets wild. It was a balcony room for me and an additional room for my guests.
Oh, I love that.
So I've never seen it before. So you're not going to get it on Star or Icon or Utopia. You're going to get it on a dumpy old ship. But, I mean, for the price.
But Royal takes care of their older ships a little bit better, I think, than Carnival.
I would say not a little bit. I would say a lot of bit better.
Yeah. So that's very different.
Questions in the chat?
Right, in the chat, well, shit, CCL is up 2.5-ish points. Fuck them kids. How long term is your short? Is it only options or
all right? So let's talk about this.
We've already covered this.
I did, but let me do a high level. I'll do high level right now. High level.
This is from Drew, by the way.
Yeah, Drew, it's fine. High level. I am out of almost everything. The only thing I still possess, and I will tell you the strike price and everything like that. So I did lose my my put was like $2,200 wiped. My shorts I actually got out of so I got in at 28.11, and I covered my shorts at 27.97. I had it set for 27.99. You covered at 27.97. The reason I covered is because about a minute and a half before I covered, I read the Carnival report where they put guidance in the earnings report, and usually cruise lines don't write physical guidance. They usually just speak it. The only thing I still have, and I will tell you, is a Carnival $20 put. I know it's crazy. I have a Carnival $20 put, which is down 9% today, but its strike price is $121.28. So January 21st of 28. My average cost on that was $3.18. Current price is $2.49. So I'm down 21.75% on that. I can clearly show that to the camera because the only thing I don't like showing is if I were to look at the shorts, I can't show it because it shows my total account value, which I don't like to show on the channel. But yeah, that's the only thing I still hold. I lost about $852, $852 and change on the whole Carnival transaction today. Put your stop losses in place, people. But $852.
It's a respectable loss, especially with the upside that you could have had. So I get that.
But here's what's funny, though. Hold on. I think I've actually made it back in gold already. Yeah, I have.
There you go.
I'm going to buy some more gold. Go with the next question. Yeah, I'm going to be a big gold hoe right now. But I don't know why I'm a big gold hoe because I don't. Look, let's talk about something that I've talked about. Get your questions, and then we'll talk about crypto because I got traffic like a motherfucker right here, right now. I'm in downtown.
So this was a little bit earlier, but somebody asked, you think Jerome Powell is going to reduce the interest rates again in January or February?
It just depends on the economy. I mean, look, Ryan is probably the biggest expert in the chat on this. He told me about a month and a half ago that we've got 6 more months of money printing left.
Okay.
Until we have problems. So I think we might reduce the interest rates. I think I'll put it like this. Long term, I don't think a Carnival short position is awful to have. Because I think the whole look, and you know this, you agree with me here, and this is important for the Jerome Powell discussion. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I don't think the people without assets are going to do very well in the next 5 years. If you're living paycheck to paycheck and relying on dollars and not relying on assets, look, these dollars, unless the Chinese actually find a way to do that, these dollars, and I'm showing the gold backs just so you know, Bill, these dollars are not going to go down. But the dollars in my pocket are going to go down.
Yeah.
And I'm up 264 on gold today. 254. So now I'm only down, I'm counting that against the Carnival short. Now I'm only down to 600. Oh, 272. I literally have gold showing right now.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
But go on.
Did you get an email from Explorer yet regarding your deboarding?
Good question. I'm in such bad traffic and my Tesla self-driving. EXPLORA. I will let you know I had my travel agent this morning. I have absolutely nothing from Explorer. And I will show you. Again, transparency, other than when I'm not going to show you.
That was from Ahmed.
No, I know. The last email I had from Explorer was my guest survey from Explorer. Now, I did reach out to my travel agent today to contact Explorer to at least get my taxes and port fees back. And I said, as long as Explorer doesn't get stupid and ban me from MSC, I'll just take the rest of my fare back from the roulette machine on MSC World America that I'm on for 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
You understand that.
Ryan mentioned currently 20% chance for a rate cut in January, closer to 50% chance by March. So.
And I'm sitting in bumper to bumper ass traffic in Miami. And Bill, you know how traffic used to stress me out, right?
Hey, you're not driving.
I'm not fucking driving. It's great.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, Minnesota's Finest asks, what's your thoughts on Uber stock right now?
So that's part of my little issue I had on Explorer. Because
Uber?
Yeah, you don't know that story?
Well, do you think that Uber is cheaper in Puerto Rico, or is it cheaper to hire a cab?
Uber's fucking cheaper in Puerto Rico, but then I got scammed by an Uber driver in Dominican Republic, and Uber gave me $50 because I got scammed by an Uber driver in Dominican Republic. Because I was like, oh, you didn't know that story? If it was, for those of you that missed the show,
I didn't know you got scammed by the Uber driver in Dominican Republic.
For those of you, I'll give you the 30-second synopsis. So I'm at the hotel in the DR, and I was like, my taxi driver who took me from the port to the hotel is like, okay, cool. It's $25 to go from there to there. I'm gonna say traffic. 22 minutes now. Sorry. I have to deal with text profit taking. Okay. My dad is still trading Carnival. So he was like, oh, it's going to be $25 or $30 to go from the hotel to the airport. So I go on the Uber app, 248 DOP, Dominican pesos, I think. And I put that in at $4.98. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll take a $4.98 Uber. That'll be perfectly fine. The Uber driver sends me a message in the Uber app. And it's like, hey, bro, it's going to be $25. You cool with that? And I was like, sure. He sent it in the Uber app. So I paid the $5 and then I paid him the $25 and then I reported him to Uber. He was immediately terminated from working for Uber and Uber gave me a $50 credit.
That's nice of them. So you like Uber, but Uber as a stock.
So I think that Uber and Tesla are going to make a relationship between you and me.
Really?
I don't think Tesla's going to do it themselves. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think that...
Why not Lyft?
What? Well, someone and Tesla are going to make a relationship. I'm sorry. I don't think that people trust Tesla vehicles enough, but people are dumb. Do we all agree that people are dumb? Here, I hate to be like Dora the Explorer. If you believe people are dumb, put people are dumb in the comments. People are dumb. If you make a self-driving Ford, people will believe it's not run by Tesla.
Oh.
So what I'm saying is you'll have the ability to request a Tesla or a Ford or a Tesla or a Chevy. But underground, they're all running Tesla's technology. You understand? I think both Uber and Lyft are going to go different directions with it. But I mean, everyone's going to be self-driving sooner rather than later. Waymo is amazing, and I love that I pretty much own my own Waymo now. And this is better than Waymo, Bill. Bill, I'm going to give you credit. Don't fucking come at me. Don't fucking come at me. This is better than Waymo now because Bill used to give me shit. He's like, well, Waymos are great, but they can only work in predefined areas. I've driven all the way to the Miami International Airport, 17 minutes now to go. 17 now. Let me text. I've driven, and it's fine. 17.
It's because LiDAR is a dead end, essentially, according to Elon, and I agree with him for a long time. But it's mainly because of the camera system. You know, if you have cameras and you have a self-driving computer and they're all analyzing different signals from cameras, that's fine because they're all the same type of signal. When you have to cross-reference all that with a bunch of LiDAR signals and who knows what other sensors are in there, that just screws everything up.
So is it almost like a choice paralysis per se? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Choice paralysis on what data to use?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, people think that LiDAR will be safer. Well, it could be, but you need a much better processor to handle all that. And by the way, have you seen the new stuff coming from Rivian? Like their new tech, their computer is incredible.
Really?
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to take a look because
I still don't know if they're.
I have a Rivian
Oh, it's
store.
gonna be better than what Tesla has, but yeah.
I have a Rivian store in Avonshire Mall, so might be able to look.
Yeah.
Take a test drive. Is it out yet? Is it out yet, or it's like pie in the sky shit?
No. This is like an actual like.
Oh, you mean actual hardware? Chip. NVIDIA like hardware. Yeah. But they're making it, or third-party fabs making it?
They are making their own.
Where?
Rivian is. Yeah, at their own factory.
They're making chips?
Somebody just did a demo online of this. And like they got to do a teardown. It's one of those, you know, tech bloggers that you don't like anymore.
I mean, I like MKBHD. It's the only one I like. I like him. He can't really be bought. That's why I like him.
I don't think it was him. But I'll have to go back.
And I like that girl. You remember the girl Becca who used to work for The Verge? The kind of lesbian looking chick. I don't know if she is. She used to do all the You do know her. She used to do all the camera review sections for their iPhone reviews.
Oh, yeah, I never really watched her stuff.
But you know what I'm talking about. No, but she went out on her own. Yeah, I'm in bumper to bumper traffic. So anything else in the chat worth talking about? Happy to talk about anything.
Ryan says LiDAR is better tech, but not scalable. I think LiDAR is better for certain applications. I don't know. What do you think?
Let me be clear. LiDAR can't read a speed limit sign. LiDAR can't read a construction zone sign. Yeah. LiDAR can't read. You know what LiDAR reminds me of? It reminds me of people just clicking agree to the iTunes terms and conditions.
People are dumb in the comments. People are dumb.
Yeah, people are dumb. No, but what I'm serious is that the simple metric is that I think what's going to happen is, I mean, and you agree, Tesla's going to start licensing their self-driving shit, aren't they?
I don't know. Like
they license NACS. Just let me tell you what NACS is. North American Charging Standard.
Yeah, but
this lady goes, "What color is car?" I go, "Orange." Tesla. So this is the person who won. I haven't announced the winner yet, but she happens to be in town for another cruise. This was not planned. This is the person who won my cabin mate on Margaritaville at Sea. She's like an older Republican Kirsten.
That sounds awful.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm sorry. I don't like Kirsten that much.
Bill. I'm just saying she has purple hair. I'm saying she's a Republican version.
I guess that's slightly better. Yeah, still.
She can throw them back. She says that's why we're going to grain and still.
All right. Well, maybe it'll be good.
Oh my God! But this fucking traffic in Miami. Do we have other questions or anything you guys want to talk about? The last thing I'm not going to talk about what I do for a living.
Dr. Atomic says that he did full self-driving from Austin to Orlando with zero problems, and Tesla already offered the Legacy. They already offered their systems, and Legacy Auto is too stupid to take them up on it.
I mean, from a technical standpoint, Tesla has open sourced all their patents. Haven't they?
Yeah, but nobody can.
I know nobody can actively do it.
Yeah. Cats Rock Tubas says, I'm going to be on the Paradise, Carnival's oldest, smallest ship currently, because it was really cheap sailing. How bad of a time am I going to have?
All
It's a 5-day cruise.
I got some advice for Paradise, all right? I'm going to tell you, Paradise has something that no other Carnival ship has. It's kind of an obscure thing back in the day that they haven't gotten rid of yet, all right? They have a bar. So don't come mad for that, but there's a secret bar on the Paradise that's not on any other ship I've ever been on. All right, I don't know how it exists, why it exists, what it exists. It's all the way in the back of the boat, right in front of the comedy club. And my favorite fucking thing on the Paradise was this bar. They have a martini bar that's on the level of Celebrity's martini bar, just hiding out in the Paradise. True story.
What's it called?
It's just called the Martini Bar.
What's the name of it?
Okay, can you look it up real quick? Just see if they still have it. I mean, Carnival Paradise. You have a phone on you. I mean, I could ask Hawk, but it would cut off this call a little bit.
No, let's just move on to the next.
But
question.
yes, the answer is there's a martini bar right in front of the right in front of the comedy club. There's a martini bar right above the dining room. So you have the 2-level dining room and the comedy club's above it, and there's a fantastic fucking martini bar there that is at the level of Celebrity Cruises martini bar. Move on to the next question, though, Bill.
What are your dates again in February on your Royal?
Oh, okay, hold on. So I have some kids, so I will let you know. The Royal, I'm opening my Royal app because we're moving at half a mile an hour. Jackpot deals! Every time I open the Royal or Celebrity app, it tries to get me to book more cruises. It's like Carnival was back in the day, but still, and Bill will admit this, I'm gonna tell you in a second, it's the Freedom of the Seas. Carnival still has one thing for casino people. It's the easiest cruise to book for casino people. Everyone else, I have to call someone in India. The Royal Cruise is on Freedom of the Seas from February 21st to February 26th.
All right.
To answer that question.
Now you know. What is your favorite roulette strategy these days?
What is my favorite roulette strategy these days?
Playing Minnesota's finest.
Playing single zero roulette's my favorite strategy. The fun thing about roulette is, so my favorite roulette strategy is, I'll be honest with you, my favorite thing and the only thing I really play now, and I've hit every single time I've played this recently, I play a single double street for the table minimum. And I just increase by 1 unit every time. That's it.
Simple.
It's a single.
How long have you gone without zero popping up though?
It's not a zero. It's not a zero. I'm playing a single double street. I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh.
That's a single double street.
Oh, okay.
So I'm playing 18.1% odds of hitting. Again, what's so funny is, everybody that watches my normal videos, and even my mom and dad are like, I'm a drunk, but I'm spouting off statistics. Yeah, I'm not an idiot. Maybe on this Carnival thing, but that's why I covered myself.
People are stupid.
People are stupid. I agree. But yeah, that's my current roulette strategy is chasing a double. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I'm up $326 on gold. Let's buy some more gold because we covered the Carnival short. I'm buying gold $40,000 at a time. So 1 unit of gold that I'm buying is $40,000.
You want to buy more Carnival short to
retrace? Let me see where it's at. I currently own 1 share of Carnival. Okay, I bought 1 share of Carnival. I'll show this. I bought 1 share of Carnival when I closed my short. I just don't show my total account value. Yeah, I currently own 1 share of Carnival at $3.72. I'm down 5 cents on my 1 share of Carnival that I bought. So,
let's remember that, even though Carnival had a really good earnings call today, that they are still very far away from their all-time high.
They are. And I'm out of traffic! Just wanted to point that out. No. That means we got 12
Piano
minutes.
Bar is the best entertainment on the fantasy class, is what Ryan said.
I'll agree there. The entertainment's pretty shit. I saw. I don't know if you heard. I saw this magician. I happened to see him right after I got off Anthology on Explora. I would have loved to see his second show, but y'all know how that went. But one of my favorite things. I just want to tell you what the crowd was on Explora. It was this magician's first time in Explora, and as I'm walking in, I'm a little drunk from Anthology. He makes a joke, and I am the only person in the room to react to it. Okay? There was at least 200 people in the room, and his joke was, hey guys, there's only 6 Star Wars movies. There were never more than 6 Star Wars movies made. And I walked in and I was laughing hysterically, and there was not a reaction from a single other person in that room. So that'll show you. Explora is trying to bring on edgy entertainment, but when you can make a Star Wars movie joke and only one drunk guy who came from Anthology gets it. Yeah, Carnival's got some track. Look, I tried to get the piano bar guy on the Explora ship to play Time Warp, and he wouldn't play Time Warp. It's not that bad. I said he didn't even have to do the pelvic thrust. But try to get him to do Time Warp, he wouldn't do Time Warp. And I was the only person in there.
The atmosphere would ruin the atmosphere of the ship or whatever.
Yeah, I'm under a bridge, so we might have I do have a parking garage coming up, so we're going to wrap this up in about 4 minutes or so. I'm just letting you guys know.
Yeah. Dr. Atomic says, is the Martini Bar in Paradise, is it called the Rotterdam Martini Bar?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Atomic, for doing that research. I would do it with Grok if I could, but I can't be on the phone and on Grok at the same time.
No, that makes sense. So basically, Rivian announced it was on their Autonomy and AI Day on December 11th, and that their own chip they're going to start using.
All right. Let me offer something. Let me offer something because we can do it, and we'll probably do it in half.
It's up 10% now.
Wow.
Today.
Should have bought Rivian. I guess we got to come up with a name for it, Bill. I think that when I come up to Orlando in a few days, I think we should do a whole stock show. We'll do it from Half Barrel. It'll be you and me bullshitting about stocks, and we'll do it live with everyone so we can both read the comments. I think that'd be fun, don't you?
Yeah.
We gotta go with a name for it.
Rivian's up 45%.
God damn. Should have bought some Rivian. I don't know what we'll call it. We'll make a stock show with Richard and Bill. Just say stock show. I'm not promising this is going to happen every month, but we'll do it a couple of times. We'll have some beer and we'll do some stocks. It'd be kind of thing because here, stonks? No, we can't call it stonks. I think someone already has a trademark on that dumb shit.
Oh, okay. Well, come up with something.
Yeah, we'll do that. I have to go ahead and kind of wrap this up because I'm going to hit not yet. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to hit a parking garage. Trying to see where this person is. Door 24. Okay. Arrivals, door 24. This person really thought I wasn't coming in an orange Tesla. That's what's funny. You guys will all get to meet her. I can't let you meet her now. The only reason why is because we're going to jump into a parking garage, and there's no satellite signal in that parking garage. But you guys will all get to meet her via Shorts, and she's the one that submitted a video, and we're going to screen test her right now. I have no reason to think I wouldn't add her in the Margaritaville thing, but we'll see. But she's the winner that I've chosen thus far for the Winter Cruise thing. She's a single mother, older kid. Kid probably won't kill me. No, I'm not looking for sexual. Just being serious. But seems like she knows how to drink and have a good time. Got a rather large Instagram.
You got time for one more question?
I do. I'm just looking at when the parking garage starts, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. Charlie Momo 2605 says, who's winning more between the Rivian and the Volkswagen partnership?
Oh God, Volkswagen. I think Rivian's winning. The VW. I looked at the VW bus. The VW bus looks like fun, but I think Rivian's getting the higher stock price appreciation, if that makes sense. And Volkswagen is hitching themselves to. Again, Rivian is having its Tesla moment now. I think would be the safe thing to say, don't you? And we got some traffic up here, so it might be a little bit. We might have time for another question or two. Rivian's having its. Anyway, they're having their Tesla moment. Stop for a minute, Phil, so you can understand what I mean. They're being valuated as a tech company and not as a car company. So I think that eventually Rivian might do the smart thing that I think Ford is going to do. And I say this in a Tesla right now. Miami is a bit of an exception to what I'm about to say, but generally speaking, Tesla service centers are shit. They take too long. They take too long to get parts and everything like that. So I think like an acquisition of someone like Ford Henry Ford and the Ford Company created a lot of, service principles that are now used to the day in many, 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 many industries. I think that Rivian would do great purchasing VW in order to scale. Because I think VW knows how to build factories and make great cars for guys who have very small mustaches in the middle of their face.
The problem with that is that they're all dealerships and they're all individually owned.
Rivian is like Tesla, correct? In the layout.
I think so. I think they're direct to consumer. I don't know that though. So, because they do have showrooms and stuff at malls, so I assume they're direct to consumer.
Yeah.
Somebody said, Minnesota's Finest said Polestar Auto is up 5% today.
I like Polestar. Polestar, we drove that. Remember at the Electrify Expo? I actually really like that car. But the thing is, look, here's the honest truth, and I'm starting to get into cover. I'll keep this on as long as I can go, but once you go Tesla self-driving, since I got my Tesla, I've driven my truck once just to keep it in shape. Now we know my truck is an antique. I need to clear it out and get rid of it. Maybe I'll let Steady Eddie live in it.
Oh, God.
That's a joke.
Don't do that.
No, that's a joke. The truck goes to AJ.
I feel like he would.
The truck goes to AJ, and then AJ gives his car to Steady Eddie to live in.
Oh, no.
That's the God's honest truth. But I got to wrap it up because literally I'm at the airport and I'm about to. Well, hold on. Let me see. Maybe. I don't know if departures is. So we're at door 24. No, it looks like the person's underground. So I'm going to be in arrivals. So I'm going to have to wrap this up just because I'm going to be in arrivals right now. Unfortunately, when you get to someplace like an airport, as of right now, with a Tesla, you have to take over driving. Why you have to take over driving is just because it doesn't know the exact door you're going to or anything like that. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, Bill, for being the MC for the past few hours. Like I said, as far as you've seen, I mean, just texting you, we earnings call. I went from the earnings report to the live stream and hooking up everything like that. But I lost $852 on the deal as far as I can see. And I'm making it back in gold. This is Richard from No Pants Profits with Professor Bill, and we'll likely see you next week. Likely.
Sounds good.
See you next week. And I'm about to jump into a parking garage. So this stream is about to die. And when you wear no pants, the only thing you left to lose is what, Bill? God, is the guy in the BMW is the guy in the BMW trying to back up into you. Yeah, this is why I hate the airport. The Hitler joke hit hard. All right, bye guys.